So I've been talking about the role of the self in guiding the development of the personality. Jung had a term called individuation, which was his concept of this process of self-realization. So he described individuation as the lifelong psychological process of differentiation of the self out of each individual's conscious and unconscious elements. So expanding one's understanding and awareness of oneself by embracing and integrating conscious and unconscious aspects into a unified personality. So you are widening or expanding the personality and what you identify with and who you are, becoming more whole because you are making the unconscious or your unconscious aspects conscious, which widens the experience of the self. So Jung thought that this was the main task of human development. It is the mastery of the outer world of man and the inner world, and that everyone has the potential to engage in this process, but not everyone does because, for one, not easy to do. It is difficult and it requires conscious effort and participation with the unconscious. And not everyone has the capacity or the desire or the will to engage in this process. But Jung thought that this was what was required for self-realization and for becoming more of who you really are. So Jung believed that every individual has an internal blueprint that guides personality development, and this blueprint is given by the self. So as Jungian analyst Robert Johnson puts it, within the unconscious of each person is the primal pattern, the blueprint, if you will, according to which the conscious mind and the total functional personality are formed from birth through the slow years of psychological growth toward genuine inner maturity. This pattern, this invisible lattice work of energy, contains all the traits, all the strengths, the faults, the basic structure, and parts that will make up a total psychological being. So from birth, we have this blueprint in our unconscious within the self that is meant to be a map guiding us towards the unraveling of our authentic self. So it contains all of the traits and characteristics that we have or that we can embody. And the process of individuation is the actualizing of this blueprint, the unfolding of the blueprint, and becoming more of who we are meant to be. So the process of individuation can be summed up with the term or with the phrase, be what thou art, or becoming who one really is. So here's another quote by Robert Johnson. Individuation is the term Jung used to refer to the lifelong process of becoming the complete human beings we were born to be. Individuation is our waking up to our total selves, allowing our conscious personality to develop until they include all the basic elements that are inherent in each of us at the preconscious level. This is the actualizing of the blueprint. And here's a quote by Lionel Corbett. Individuation, or the full development of the personality, is a process by which the transpersonal self incarnates within the personal self. The self acts as a blueprint for the developing personality. That is, the self is the archetypal basis of the empirical personality, and it continuously embodies itself over the course of one's life by becoming more and more conscious. So in this quote, the personal self, when he mentions the personal self, he's talking about our egoic or conscious identity, and the transpersonal self is that which is beyond that, and that is what is that's over our lifespan within our empirical personality or our personal self. That is what we are attempting to become more like. Jung also said that individuation is to divest the self from false wrappings. So as you become more of who you really are, as you begin to identify more with your true self, you begin to separate yourself from what you are identifying with that was not really you. He also said that wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. So individuation by its nature is about becoming more complete, becoming more whole, identifying more with the wholeness of your being. And this is not achieved by rejecting or cutting off different parts of you, but by understanding them, by getting to know them, and by making them part of your makeup or integrating them into who you are, your personality, your identity in a way that allows cooperation between the different parts of you.